Hey Alice. Hey everyone, welcome. Let me just open up the screen. Hey Stephen, how are you, brother? Okay.
How are you? Nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well. Very nice to see you. People coming on now. Let me open up the screen a little bit and do a bit of this gallery view. Hey y'all, come. Hey Sinead. Hiya. Hi Yuko. Hi Catherine. Hey Emma. Right, and there's so many, lots of you coming there. It's all happening. It's really happening. You thought it wasn't going to happen for a minute, didn't you? But here it is, happening. Hey, Sophie, it's all happening. You're all pinging online, you're all appearing, one after the other. Hey, Tika. Hey, Tom. Great to see you. Hey, Lucy. Super duper seeing you all. Welcome. Swagatam Sadavaha. What's the time? We got 1 minute before we start officially. So we'll wait for to see. Hey Janella. Now you are all currently, I'm sorry to say, muted. Yeah. Which means you can unmute yourself if you want to say anything. Or there is also an option to write down, you can type in questions as well. So if you've got any questions, hey Lynn, then you can type them in, or you can unmute yourself. But remember to mute yourself again, otherwise, sadly, I'll have to mute you, and it's not a nice thing to have to do to someone.
Hi, Jen.
Hey, Soph, how are you?
Yeah, I don't know.
Lovely to see you.
You too.
If you've been painting today, or if the kids...
No.
Really, bloody kids.
Oh, dear.
Oh, Lord. Welcome, everyone. It's nice to see you. I don't know if you can see each other or not, but I can see you, and you're lovely, all of you. It's very nice to see you. I'm just looking at you one at a time to appreciate you. Some of you are invisible, like Emma, for example, and that's you can be invisible if you want. But what I will do intermittently through the classes, I will look at the screen and check how y'all doing and make sure things are understood and so on. So I'll be going back and forth between there, that's my yoga mat there, and here, so I can look at the screen. So if you want, you can have yourself a video. I think you have to press play video, and then I can see you to see if you're doing anything dreadful. Or hey, Susan, you're all coming. It's wonderful because people coming out now, hiding. Hey, Tika, hey, Sarah. It's like I knew you were there, and now I can see you. It's even more exciting. So that's you don't have to be seen, obviously, but I do use that to observe you, and it's actually weirdly easier to observe you on this than it is any other way. Is that my cousin Sophia down there in Berlin? Hello, Sophia.
Oh.
I had your sister on here yesterday. Really? Oh, I think you're muted, Sophia. Let me unmute you for a moment. Hang on, I'm trying to unmute you. The rest of you have to stay muted. I can't unmute you. I don't know why, Sophia.
Me. Accent. Hello.
Hello, lovely.
How are you doing? I'm having a very weird birthday.
What? Say that again.
I'm having a very weird birthday.
Oh, it's your birthday today. Happy birthday. Oh. Hey, everyone. It's Sophia's birthday in Berlin. So they can see. Happy birthday. That's my cousin. She's absolutely lovely. Sometimes your family, you think, no, thanks. But others, you think, yeah, I'd have you in my family even if you weren't in my family. Sophia's one of those.
Oh, thanks, Jim.
It's true.
I'm to visit you next week, but I'm going to not be able to go.
Well, we'll reschedule. We'll do something. We're going to all meet up soon. All of us. Or the whole lot of us. We're all going to meet up. So I won't start singing Dame Vera Lynn. But, you know, you get the vibe anyway.
I like your wood burning stove. You're ready for the Armageddon.
It's made beautiful for you to enjoy Armageddon
Fabulous.
here in my beautiful house in the Hollywood Hills. Okay, well, it looks like you're all gathered, and I can see nearly all of you, and those that aren't being seen presumably don't want to be, or don't know how to be seen, in which case you press play video, I think, or something like that. Okay, so I'm going to mute some of you. Sorry, it sounds so horrible, doesn't it, to mute people? But otherwise you get a lot of interference. Excuse me. Lay down, please. So you can have a lay down on your back. Hey, Tash.
Hiya.
Hiya.
Wondering if everything's okay.
Everything's okay, I think. Well, I mean, I'm not sure that everything's okay, unless you're talking about ultimately, and then yes, everything's okay. Relatively, it's all relative. So who knows? So we're going to lay down on our back. Yuko's already having a good old roll about, which is right and good, and as it should be. So have a lay down on your back. Give your legs a little cuddle. And let's start the session that way. So having a lay down on your back. Give your legs a little cuddle. Let me make sure my phone's muted now. Hang on. There we go. That's on. And then you've got an opportunity to just roll around. Now, I've got a theory. It's beyond a theory, actually. I'm pretty sure it's 100% correct. That most of us are a little tight, to say the least, in our breathing processes at the moment. Probably always. So as we roll around, we're really encouraging ourselves to find hot spots. Sensations, parts of the back that you can roll onto that feel good, that feel rich, that feel juicy. And that when you feel them, you kind of disappear into them and your breath opens up. So you might roll left and you think, oh, God, it feels good. The breath opens up. Or you might roll right. And it feels good and the breath opens up. And you might roll the head with the body, or the body rolls and the head stays still. And you're looking for, excuse my voice, areas of intense sensation that are so intense that you disappear into them and your breath opens up.
Somebody turn that beeping off.
Oh, let me see who's someone unmuted and they're beeping. An unmuted beeping person. I will find them, Tash, if that was Tash that said that. And see if I can turn off the beeping. Yeah, got it. I think. Or have I? Maybe. I don't know. Okay. I think you're all muted now, so there shouldn't be any beeping. If there's any more beeping, it might be coming from your own body, which is alarming, of course. So a few more breaths like this, rolling left, rolling right. Are you okay, Catherine? Hang on, let me unmute you. Say that again, Catherine.
Sorry. Just wondering, I've got lots of little boxes.
Yeah.
And last time you were bigger.
Okay, you've probably pressed gallery view, which should be at the top right. So you might want to not press that or unpress that, if you can unpress something.
I can't see it. I'll have a little look around. So it's nothing that you've done, it's something I've done.
Nothing that I've done. I don't think. Who knows?
Okay.
You press speaker view at the top right.
Well done. That's right. Speaker view. Can you see it top right?
View. Ah.
Well done, Tom. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Tom. Oh, beautiful Tom. What a lovely man. Lovely, but I'm going to remute him. Oh, and he's muted himself very kindly. Okay. So just a couple more breaths rolling around. You can find those juicy bits, especially around the tailbone release. I like to do it with the knees apart. It's quite not many other people like knees apart, but I see some of you do. It's maybe as a backlash. Good. And when you've rolled around a few more rolls, and you found a few more, couple more hot spots, sensations that are so rich that you can't grasp anymore. Grasping's negated. Then we're going to release the feet, then when you're ready, back to the floor. And as soon as the feet touch the floor, put your hands under your head, fingers interlaced. And then catch your breath. So this should be audible breath to yourself. Audible. And as you're taking deep breaths, notice how the chest releases and the shoulder blades deepen, and those two experiences are interrelated. In other words, as the breath releases, the shoulder blades deepen, the chest widens. See if you can just notice. Now lift up your feet with your knees bent. Lift up your feet with your knees bent so your heels are close to your buttocks. Heels are close, and hands still underneath your head. And breath still deep. And you can feel subtle movements come. Sometimes there's a little rolling this way or that way, or a little flexion or extension in the hips or even knees or wherever. And then our hands are still behind our head, so we're going to just lift up our head and look towards the belly. So just lift up your head and look. And hopefully you can feel this is on the abdominal muscles. The upper abdominals are pulling you. So focus on that and focus on the living experience. This living experience of the body here and now is what sets us free. The body, which is part of this field of Prakriti, which means nature, she's changing all the time. She's interconnected with everything. Now slowly bring your head back down. Feel the eccentric contraction of the abdominals lowering you down like a bucket being lowered in a well. And then head comes down and then feet come down, and then everyone take a deep breath when you're ready. You might want to tuck the buttocks under. Take a few deep breaths. All about the breath. It's all about the breath. Now make sure your feet are a little way apart, about hip width apart. And a little closer to your bum. A little closer to your bum. Good job. And then just let your legs fall to one side. Doesn't matter which side. Just let them fall, like two trees in the forest. And then feel the stretch on the upper side of the body. And breathe into it. And breathe into your back arm, the arm that your legs have fallen away from. And breathe into the back muscles, the sides of the abdominals, the obliques, the stretch from your pubic bone. Breathe into all of this. And of course, the stretch on your upper front thigh. Say yes through the breath. Say yes through the breath. Which is saying no to the past and the future and ideas about the self in the present. Okay, legs come back up when you're ready. Feet on the floor, tuck under the buttocks, just scoot them under and take another deep breath. And then if you're quick, you'll naturally take another, and then another, and then another. So a few deep breaths coming and going. And then let the legs fall, if you're ready, the other direction. Remember the hands are underneath the head, fingers interlaced. Huh? That's it, yeah. It was you I was looking at, Lucy. And then you breathe your back arm back down, which is a meditation. What does meditation mean? It means you're absorbed in something. That's all it means. You breathe your back arm back down. So breathing to that armpit. Breathe into the upper abdominals, the obliques, sides of the abdominals. And look for ways in which you can say yes with the body. But it's not just the body, is it? If you're going to release your top thigh, you can feel, yes, I want the body to release, but also my breath has to. Also, my attachments have to what I think things should be like, or what I'm expecting things to be like. You have to let go of those attachments. So this is called Nadi Shodhana, cleansing your nervous system, freshen it up. If a global pandemic can't shift your samskaras, ain't nothing can. Okay, come back to the center when you're ready, if you're ready. And then once you're back in center, tuck under the buttocks, take another deep breath. Take a few deep breaths. Releasing, when you're ready, your hands from under your head and stretching them out to the sides of you. Elbows a little higher than the shoulders, arms extended. If you have room, maybe you have to push them into somebody's ears or something, or you have to work it out with your neighbor. Good, that's it. August, well done. And cheeky, make sure you're not tickling each other's armpits too much. Good, and then breathe into it. Just breathe into it. Something simple, very simple. So your arms are extended out as much as you can. Some of you are close to other people, and that's fine. You just go where you can. Just a couple more deep breaths. It's fine if your arm's on top of someone else's. That's all fine. And here we're studying the body from the point of view of absorption. Study means absorption. Okay. If the screen is to the side of you, roll so that you face the screen. If not, just roll onto one side or the other, and you're going to be laying on your side. I'm going to join you on a yoga mat. So you're laying on your side. Supporting your head with your hand. Take the hand that's not supporting your head when you're ready. There's no rush, so it's, relax together. Hand that's not supporting your head, press it into the floor. Lift your bottom ribs 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and then extend your armpit as well. Sorry about my little tickle. Okay, once you've extended like that, next thing to do is take your top leg and just start to flex it back and forth. Flexing and extending the hip between the horizontal and the vertical planes. Between the horizontal and the vertical planes. And your intention is to develop an epicenter of sensation around the outer hip that's so rich that all attachments and stories about yourself, about the world, about the future, about the past, they start to give in against this rich, rich, rich sensation in your head. Okay? And so you really want to build it until it's really intense, because what we're doing is creating an anchor for our consciousness. In yoga it's called ekagrata, just grasping one thing. Normally the mind is grasping a billion things. Here we just want one sensation to get so intense that there's nothing else. Everything else gets pulled into it. Once you've got it intense like that, we're going to flex and externally rotate the leg on an exhalation. So when you're ready, it's flexing and externally rotating. So the leg comes up, essentially. But you keep that intensity. Keep that intensity. You breathe into it. So your leg is kind of sort of dynamically flexed back like a frog's leg is just before it jumps, full of potential energy. Unexpressed potential energy, stored up powerfully, held in the body powerfully. When you breathe into it. If your balance is tricky, it's fine to bend the bottom leg, if you need to. And then you're going to reach through and hold your big toe. You're going to reach through and hold your big toe. Okay. Keep the jaw soft, breathe deep. Still keep the sensation in the hip joint. Still keep breathing deeply. If you wish, you can begin to extend the leg, but it certainly doesn't have to come to straight. Remember, the purpose of your yoga practice is to create sensations that are rich enough for you to disappear into an experience of the body that's alive and changeable, and what yogins call first order reality, and also philosophers call first order reality. Just a bare bones living experience of what the body is here and now. The bare bones, just the subtle changes and the relationships, not second order reality, which is what you think about your body, you think about the world, but first order, how it actually is. Okay, well done. Bring your leg down, one on top of the other, knees up, we'll come up, and of course you're going to go to the other side, so sweep the feet round to the second side. Similarly, good job, great. That's it. And then extend your bottom ribs several times. And it's lovely. The more times you extend it, in the sense it's better. You're stretching the intercostal muscles for one thing. That's going to help your breathing, the muscles between your ribs. Plus you're stretching the superficial fascia. That's the fascia near the skin that holds the fat cells. Right? Plus you're increasing your contact with the floor, making it richer, making the sensations richer. And when you make a sensation richer, it moves from contact to touch, and from touch to intimacy. And from intimacy to infinite, which is the first order reality. Your current experience is infinite because it's changing all the time. It's not graspable, but it is, you can merge with it. When you're ready, flex up the top hip. And between the horizontal and vertical planes, developing as much intensity as you can in the hip joint. So that's the back and forth movements, trying to develop as much intensity, an epicenter of sensation, which will help to act like gravity, like a singularity, like a black hole, you know, is that nothing can escape it if you make it intense enough. Tivra samveganam asanaha, says Patanjali in the Yoga Sutra. And once you've got it really rich, then you're going to flex and externally rotate in your own time, but keep that sensation. Okay? Do it on an exhalation. It's good to keep your foot dorsiflexed as well. And focus, focus, focus. Now focusing on the hip joint, intensity, building it, keeping it, maintaining it. You're going to reach for your big toe if you wish, with the index finger, middle finger and thumb. Anantasana is the posture name. I think it's nicer to make a loop rather than a hook, right? To really loop your toe. It acts as a sort of calming mudra, seal, an energy seal. When you're ready, you can begin to raise the leg. But remember, you're trying your utmost to keep this sensation rich, focused, deep, intense. So move in ways that promote and keep that intensity in the hip. So as the foot presses, as the leg straightens, there's a resistance with the hand that you can use to send the energy back into the hip joint. Again and again and again, back into the hip joint. The rule is keep breathing, you know, like expressively. The rule is keep breathing expressively. And keep anchoring yourself with the intense sensation located in the hip joint. Okay, well done everyone. Great job. Down you come. And then knees up and push up and come onto your hands and knees. Once you're on your hands and knees, it's a great opportunity to wag your tail. So wagging your tail obviously is an expression of correlating to moving your back muscles in ways that feel right. It's not prescribed. The idea that yoga is an ancient art prescribed and it's always the same is a false idea. What yoga is an absorption of yourself into this intimacy. And because this intimacy, this present moment intimacy is so rich, we don't cling to it. And because we don't cling, we're not distracted. And because we're not distracted, we realize our essence, nature, directly. It just opens it up. Now when you're ready, tuck under the toes, lift up, Adho Mukha Svanasana, down face dog. Make sure your hands are a little further forwards than your shoulders. And many people do like to play with this, bending the knees, for example. It's not something I like to do, but it is beneficial for many people. Another thing you might want to do is move your pelvis left or right. And within the context of these various movements, you can also add beginning to feel more and more of your palms on the floor. More and more of your palms on the floor. So for me, if I sway this way and that way, I can feel different bits of my hands lighting up. And it takes a while for me to really, really integrate every single part of the palm, touching the floor simultaneously. It takes a while to build that up. Okay, well done. Come down to hands and knees. Again, you might want a little wag of your tail. You might want a few deep breaths. Jaw soft, eyes soft. Now take, it doesn't matter which arm, take any arm and feed it underneath. If you're you can take the one furthest from the screen if you're going to end up facing towards the screen. That's useful first time. Palm up and you come down and extend out your other arm to fingertips. And then it's deep breaths. So this is Suchirandrasana. And your goal here is to breathe into it, simple. You just breathe into it. Which means you're using your breath to merge with the sensations. Okay. Bend your extended arm and push into the floor and come back up. Back onto hands and knees. Deliberately take a couple of deep breaths. You know, and a couple can mean as many as you like or need. And then when you're ready, the other arm feeds underneath in exactly the same sort of way. Palm up, and then you extend out the one that's not extended underneath you onto your fingertips is my recommendation. But, you know, there are cases where that doesn't feel right. Like problems with the fingers, arthritic fingers and that kind of thing. But if it feels right to go on the fingertips, then do so, because it keeps your anterior spine open. And keeping the anterior space, just anterior to the spine, open is a big focus for yogis, because this is our sort of visceral center. Our visceral center. So feel into that visceral center. Imagine a space that's said to be the width of your thumb, following the anterior spine all the way from the tailbone through your sacrum, through your lumbar, through your thoracic spine, through your cervical spine. And then that space continues through the head to the crown of the head and then beyond. Great, well done everyone. Coming up by bringing the other arm, the extended arm back, pushing into the floor, back to hands and knees. Take a few breaths there on your hands and knees. Then from that position, we're going to come to a regular kneeling position, Vajrasana. One hand on top of the other. And we're down. Breathing through your nose. And then, obviously, if you've got problems with your knees, you should put something between your heels and buttocks. Huh? If you've got problems with your ankles, you should put a rolled up blanket under your ankles. If you've got problems with both, you do both. Okay, and then it's about breath. And perhaps subtle movement, like you might move on your shins. As a sort of massagey effect that can make you feel like you're coming home into the body here and now. You're coming home. Okay. From there, we're going to come forwards to rest our forearms on the floor, the ulnar bones, like this, as if you were holding a bunch of flowers or a microphone, perhaps if you were at a karaoke night. And then you're going to stretch your legs back, and you're going to love this. And one of the great things about doing this by video is I can't hear some of you moaning, which is lovely in this particular scenario. Because some of you do have a moan, and you can moan your heart, to your heart's content here if you need to, because it's quite strong. Now, one way to make it less intense is to share the load. So moving hither and thither, here and there, back and forth, left and right, can help you share the load. And of course, all this is very important at the moment when some people are really stuck indoors. Okay, knees forwards, that's probably enough. Tuck under your toes and high heel sit. Agony for some people, so we won't stay long, but if it's agony for you, it does mean that you do need to do it. Interlace your fingers, stretch your arms diagonally away, and then raise your arms up. As you get about 3/4 of the way, suck in your tummy. Suck in your tummy so that you're not pushing your lower back forward. You're not fulcruming like that, but you're lifting up. So we're not getting the extra movement we want in the shoulders from the lower back coming forwards. Instead, what we're doing is trying to rise up. Trying to rise up. Don't worry if it's really hurting those toes. We're going to finish this in a second. Okay, take a big circle. Some people it's no problem, but for many it really hurts. From there, fingertips on the floor, just push yourself back to a heel up squat. Your fingertips are on the floor, you've got a heel up or heels up squat. And just breathe into that. So the heels are up, they're not on the floor, they're off the floor. The breath's through the nose. The jaw's soft. Now you're going to take your knees apart and bring your arms forwards through your legs. The feet are close, but they don't have to be pressed together. They're close, but they don't have to be pressed together. Now remember that the postures are there to act as a portal, a doorway if you like, or some sort of passageway through. So breathe into the sensations in your knees, in your hips, in your pelvis. And even painful sensations, breathe into those. Pay attention to those. Non-reactive attention. Not reactive, we're responsive. Now we're going to bring our arms back against the shins, and press your arms into your shins. And for many people now, we're at as far as we're going to go with this. It stretches the groins. It's brilliant for your tailbone. It's brilliant. And by being brilliant for your tailbone, I mean brilliant for the muscles that attach to the tailbone. Like the iliococcygeus and the pubococcygeus and the puboreptilis. If you want, you know, it's fine to lean forward. Some people like to lean forwards and experiment with this little lift up. You're welcome to do that if you want. But there's already enough going on, isn't there? Okay, if you did lift up, come down, we're all going to come into a squatting position with the knees apart. So here now you might need a folded blanket or towel under your heels, or yoga blocks if you've got them, because we're coming into a squat position. The arms come between the legs like this, and the hands can be in prayer. Don't forget, you can put and must put stuff to support the heels if the heels are not landed. Breath should be deep. Jaw should be soft. I find efficacy in movement, like if I'm a slightly sway left or sway right, then I can really feel, perhaps you can, little pockets of tension to do with expectations of the future, to do with nostalgia or regret about the past. And that tension has an opportunity to release now. Okay, I've got a feeling, even from here, because we are still connected, you know, distance doesn't disconnect us. I've got a feeling you've had enough of that particular pose. So come down and sit and take a breath, okay? So just wrap your arms around your shins and play with it, you know. You interocept, you perceive the inside, so you can play with it like moving left and right. And it's all about your breath. Your breath will tell you if it feels right, you're moving fast enough or too fast, or whether you should pause, or whether you shouldn't move at all, you know. So you're looking for a sort of softness that is intimate. You know, the sort of intimacy is something you disappear into, isn't it? You know, when you're having an intimate conversation or whatever, you know. Okay, now we're going to take our fingers and we're going to take hold of our big toes. Make a loop if you can rather than a hook. This is Upaya Padangusthasana. So spend a bit of time getting that mudra, the hand position. Make a loop rather than a hook. And I think if you spend a bit of time really making that into a mudra, which means a seal, then it gives us this sort of contained feeling, which is good. We're containing sort of wild thoughts and habitual patterns in the nervous system. We're going to lean back a little until our feet just come a little way off the floor, breathing freely through our noses if we can. Obviously, not everyone can breathe through the nose at various times. And then you can, if you like, extend the legs a little. Sometimes it feels nice to fully extend one while keeping the other bent, partly extend one while keeping the other bent. And you're breathing into this. This is Upaya Padangusthasana. It means both big toes, Padangusthasana. And the aim of what you're trying to do here is disappear into the richness of the sensations, the first order reality. So you're looking to disappear, not looking to achieve a posture. Modern postural yoga has left a lot of yogis confused about what yoga is, because we think, I'm trying to achieve a posture like the one in the book. We're not. We're trying to use the body as a portal to take us into what's called Prakriti, Pra, which means the unsurpassed, and Kriti, creation. Into this, the ultimate creation. That's this body, that's this breath. So you can have the legs apart, or together, or bent, or straight. But the criteria should be that your lower back is light. Quite tricky, actually. Lower back should be light. It's more challenging than just doing something to your body. Well done, everyone. Okay, bring your legs back down and into a cross-legged position, Sukhasana. Gap between the legs and pelvis, draw the buttock flesh out and back. Great. And I'm pretty sure you can feel that you're coming to the inner front edge of the sitting bones. The inner front edge of the sitting bones. And then you can close your eyes if you like. You don't have to. Palms up in Kiana Mudra. So you rest your hands on your legs with the palms up and the index finger and middle finger touching. You're breathing through your nose. Breathing through your nose. And you can move left and you can move right. There might be very subtle swaying. Reggie Ray, the well-known somatic Buddhist teacher, he says that new meditators think that they have to sit really still, and so they fatigue quickly. Experienced meditators know that they can move subtly the whole time. A few deep breaths. See if you can let go of what's causing your buttocks to grip. Is it fear? Is it attachment to the future? The mentally constructed future? Is it an idea about yourself in the present? Is it an attachment that makes you think it's prudent to attach to the future? An idea like that. It's not prudent to attach to the future because the future doesn't exist and never will. Attachment to the future is restricting your awareness in the present. And the present is where things happen. So you've got maximum awareness here. Then you'll respond with all your faculties. Now we're going to inhale, lift up. Exhale, right hand on the floor behind you, left hand crosses over both legs. Now you can let your head turn or not, it doesn't matter. But what does matter is that we're not reaching out. We're not pulling our roots out, as it were. We're staying rooted. So turning too far is another way of saying that we've pulled ourselves out of the root. We've come to a sort of grasping mentality. So avoid that by not turning too far, by feeling your spine between your sitting bones. Feeling your spine between your sitting bones. And breathing through your nose. Empty of grasping, a parigraha. So you notice grasping because it does things like turns you too far. It does things like pushes you out of alignment between the sitting bones. Okay, turn back to center and Kiana Mudra. Take a deep breath. And of course, one deep breath is followed by another, which is great. And by another, and by another, and by another, and by another. Inhale from both inner groins. And exhale, turn the other way. Again, let's make sure we're coming from the center so that we feel centered. I'm sure you, like me, can feel when you're reaching out of your center. You can feel it as a sort of neediness, no? Or a sense of not knowing. Your wisdom faculty disappears when you reach out. You end up feeling tense because there's subtle doubt when you reach out. And the opposite is true when you don't. Then you know. Stay in the center. Then you know. There's a knowing. That's how you know you're in the center, because you know. There's a knowing. And it doesn't need anything. It doesn't need yoga books. It doesn't need yoga authorities. It knows already. Okay, well done. Return back to center. Palms up. Let's hear that deep breath. I can't hear it, but you know what I mean. Take a deep breath. You can hear it. So you're beginning to express. Beginning to express. Karana Shakti Swato Nubhavat. I'll translate that in a minute. Just give your fingers a wiggle. And then we're going to bring ourselves up to standing. So, do what you can. Bring yourself up to standing. Stretch out a little bit. You might kick out the legs. See if that feels right. Sometimes it's wrong to kick out the legs, you know. Sometimes it's right. And then you're standing in the middle of your mat. With your toes spread and feet, if you can, they're together. But you know what? It's fine for your feet not to be together as long as they're level. You mustn't have one foot turned out and one foot turned in or something. Now, I've been announcing to people through this marvelous interweb net thing that I'm a lateral spreader of my feet. Perhaps you didn't know that about me. But I spread my feet laterally. And lots of people like to spread their feet longitudinally, from front to back or back to front. And that's fine too. But one way or the other, it should feel like you're stretching this fascia on the feet, plantar fascia, multiple times in a way that feels like massaging. And if you do it enough times in the right kind of way, you start tuning in on what's happening further up in the shins, in the knees, in the hips. But you only really wake up when your breath is free. So when you're moving your feet, make sure your breath isn't tense, because tension indicates doubt, and doubt doesn't know anything. You know, so come out of doubt into knowing. Samshaya is doubt, vidya is knowing. Arms by your sides. That's it. Try not to do too much of what you know about Tadasana. Try not to do too much of what you think you know about Tadasana. Listen to the body instead. Around the chest muscles. Listen to what's happening without you doing anything already. What tensions are there? And then gradually, tuning in on the feet still, subtle adjustments to the feet can be very helpful. Gradually, chest tension releases and the arms start floating a little further away from the body. You're not pulling them away. You have to be patient. We don't want to go with our sort of craving or reaction. We're very patient. Okay, now allow your palms to begin to turn subtly outwardly. Try not to make it too mechanical. So your palms begin to turn. See if you can make it intricate. And then finally begin to raise your arms up above your head for Urdhva, upwards, Hasta, hands. So, and you can feel your way into it. Some people do a sort of, like they're climbing a ladder, I guess, like a rope ladder. Other people, I like to raise my heels alternatively. Just try and contribute to your height more. Try and contribute more to the height, especially anterior to the spine. See if you can get into that area. Anterior to the spine. Be really persistent. Huh? Press your feet, raise your fingers, inhale. Exhale, bend your ankles, knees and hips. Let the arms and body come forwards. Then you can move up and down and left and right. You can twist, huh? Like I'm doing here. You can go really low if that feels right. And the arms can go lower. You know, there's so many variations. But the bottom line is it feels absorbing. And doubt isn't there. When knowing is there, doubt is not. If you go to a yoga class and you're full of doubt, then you know you're not practicing right. Because yoga is supposed to be vidya, it's supposed to be knowing. Not knowing someone else's information and storing it, but knowing directly, here and now. Inhale, stand up if you're ready. Take a big circle, hands to your hips. Take some deep breaths. Take a few. Step your feet generously apart. And have a look down at your toes. And make sure they're equidistant from the front and sides of the mat. Let's have a look. Do take deep breaths as well. Really important to let your breath happen. Many of us, I'm convinced, many of us are breathing shallow. Subconscious messages making us breathe shallow, even more than normal. So let your breath come out. Because many of us are unsure what's going on. You know? So we breathe shallow. And breathing shallow is just, you know, thing is, life's multifarious. It's always going to be full of odd stuff. I mean, you know, this is just odd stuff. It's always full of odd stuff. The important thing is to be alive, isn't it, during it? Okay, well now we're going to turn our left toes in and the right foot and leg out. We're going to turn the whole body around. Whole body around. Walking your front foot across the width of your mat. Lift your back heel again and externally rotate it and then land it. So you're really squaring up with your front foot. Really squaring up. If you're using a yoga mat, make sure you're going a little wider across the width of the mat. Your minimal stride, which is too narrow for most people, is heel to heel. That's minimal for most people. But actually most of us should go wider than that. Most of us should go hip width, huh? Hands on the hips. Good. Good job. Lightly tone your tummy. Good. Feel into your inner groin and the back leg, the inner groin and the back leg. Inhale, stretch from the inner groin up. Exhale, fold forwards and down. Still hands on the hips, so you're coming down over your front leg. Bring your fingertips to the floor when you're ready, so releasing the hands, fingertips to the floor. You can bend your knee if you need to. Jaw soft. Release the back leg buttock, the gluteus maximus. Breathe deep. Breathe deep. Jaw soft, eyes soft. Jaw soft, eyes soft. Good. Now you've got both hands on the floor. We're going to take the hand, the same hand as your front leg. That's going to come up and onto your sacrum. The same hand as your front leg coming onto your sacrum. That's the bony plate between the buttock flesh. So you're in a Parivrita Trikonasana. Now, extend your bottom ribs. It's a tricky pose. You can bend your knee if you need to. Extend your bottom ribs. Great. I'm impressed by what you're doing. Yeah, that includes even your little one, Lucy. It's doing a great job. Good job. And extending, 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 extending your bottom ribs. Good. Inhale, come on up. Come on up, all the way up on the inhale. Good job, hands on the hips. Whoa, hands on the hips. Turn to face the front. Level your feet up with each other. Have a look at them, make sure they're level. Take deep breaths. Jaw soft, breathing deep. When you're ready, we're turning for the other side. So back toes in, front foot and leg out. Don't forget to walk your front foot further across the width of your mat, so that you really can square up. And don't forget to lift your back heel and externally rotate it and then land it again. You can do it more than once, of course. Great. Focusing when you're ready, if you've got your balance, focusing on your inner groin of your back leg, the inner groin, top of the inner thigh. And that's what you want to stretch and elongate. So you can lean back a bit on the inhale, inhale, stretch that inner groin, exhale, extend from the inner groin forwards and over the front leg. Extend from the inner groin. Good. Eventually coming down to fingertips on the floor, bending your knee if you need to. Catching your breath. Great. Release the gluteus maximus on the back leg. It's a subtle thing to do. It's actually a beautiful thing to do. And if you breathe into it, even more beautiful. Breathing deep, breathing honest. Good. Okay. Taking your other hand onto your sacrum and turning. So it's a paravrita. No, the other way, Matt. Yeah, that's it, yeah. Extend your bottom ribs. You knew something was wrong, didn't you? Good. Extend your bottom ribs. Breathe into it. Extend your bottom ribs. Beautifully done, Catherine. Do that again. Come on, a bit more on that bottom ribs. I know you can. No, I've seen you do it once. Don't forget the front knee can be bent. Gluteus maximus released. Well done, Sinead. Looks great. Good. Inhale, come on up. Well done. Feet forwards, hands to hips, deep breaths. Good. Prasarita, Padottanasana. Make sure you don't bang your head into your camera. So it's a wide stride. Make sure your feet are generously placed. Turn your toes in towards each other a little. Turn your toes in a little bit. Okay? And extend out the little toes on each foot. All of the toes, but especially give attention to the little toes. It can be easily underappreciated how paying attention to the little stuff is absolutely powerful, an incredible shift for you to do in your life. So pay attention to the little stuff. Extend the little toes multiple times. And you never, don't ever think, oh, my little toes will never do what they're told. That's not the point. The point is to pay attention to them and to repeat and to keep sending the calmness that can extend them. So it's super intimate, breath centered. If your breath goes shallow, you're approaching this the wrong way. If your breath goes shallow, you're approaching it the wrong way because you're thinking, I should know something. That leads to doubt. Extend from your inner groins. Inhale. Exhale. Fold over the top of your front thighs. The thighs might feel like they're rising up. Bring your fingertips to the floor. Bend your knees if you need to, or go wider, or use a block for your hands, or whatever you've got. A block, a tin of baked beans, whatever, Something for your hands to go onto is useful, unless you reach the floor fairly easily. Jaw is soft, eyes are soft. Breathing's deep. Shifting the pelvis by shifting the weight on the feet. Left and right, back and forth. Very subtle. You can use that shifting to find better spaciousness between your inner knee, lifting, your outer shin deepening. Better, more spacious relationships between inner knee, outer ankle, inner groin, outer hip. Keep breathing deep. Sending energy up again and again through the thigh tissue. Sending energy like waves of intention up through the thigh tissue. We call these waves influencing waves. Influencing waves. Good. Lead with the chest, firm legs come up on the inhale. Well done, everyone. Walk your feet towards each other. And if you need a little shake out, that's, of course that's allowed. Hands are going to stay on the hips. We're going to have a little shake out. And then we're going to step the feet apart again. a generous stride. And then turn, stretch the arms, turn the palms, raise up. Make sure the roots of the neck are not tight. The roots of your neck. So adjust your head position. And breathe through your nose. We're going to turn towards the right, so turn the left toe steeply in, the right foot and leg out, turn the whole body towards the right. Whole body towards the right. Whole body, squaring up like that. Walk your front foot further across the width of your mat. Good, well done. Marvelous. And then if you want, you can lift the back heel again and externally rotate it and then bring it down again. Good job. You can do it as many times as is helpful to you. And then for me, this pose is all about the inner groin on the back leg. So raise your arms up from your hip joints, inhale. Exhale, bend your front knee. And then focus on the inner groin of the back leg. So the back foot doesn't have to be down on the floor, it can lift. Just keep getting that inner groin to come round with you. You know, as if there were many fibers that needed to come round one after the other, you know, multiple times. Good, palms facing in, teasing that tissue around multiple times. So I find if I'm exclusively on the ball of the foot on the big toe side, I can then lift and move the whole leg because I've got the freedom to move the whole leg and get the groin round, and then the foot can land again. So you can do that multiple times. Keep working on the inner groin coming round, the back leg, the front knee is bent. Stride is generous. Gluteus maximus releasing on the back leg multiple times. Good. With the pelvic floor in your awareness, inhale, come up. Turn back to the front, good job. Hands on the hips. Level your feet up. Let's take deep breaths. Let's take deep breaths. So really good to take good deep breaths now, multiple times. Good deep breaths. Great. Okay, stretch your arms out and then up. Arms out and up, good. And then lift up. Suck in the tummy, contribute to the height. Make sure the roots of the neck are soft. Roots of the neck are soft. Breathe deep. Light tone that you can feel even influencing the pubis. The skin on the pubic area, you've pulled up right through to the belly, to the chest. Good. Turn your back toes in, front foot and leg out. We're turning the other direction. Walk your front foot further across the width of your mat. Lift the back heel, externally rotate it multiple times and land it. So you can do that a few times. So you just reiterate the squaring up thing. You reiterate the squaring up. Find the pelvic floor. Focus on your inner groin of the back leg. That's your focal point. The inner groin of the back leg. Inhale. Exhale, bend your front knee and loosen that inner groin. Encourage it to come round with you. Remember, you can use the lightness of your back foot. You can go lighter, you can lift it, you can turn it. Working your way around multiple times so that the whole body comes round. And it's all about inner groin, inner groin, inner groin. Stretching. So the psoas major. Stretching on the back leg. Make sure your neck feels soft, but you're not being overly soft in the pose, but your energy is soft. So you can be stretching dynamically up with your arms. Breathing deep. Good. That bent knee directly above the ankle. You can go a little further forwards with the bent knee. You can even do things like lifting the front heel if that's useful to you. Sometimes I find it useful. But see if you do. I mean, it's up to you. Inhale. Come on up. Well done. Good job, Alex. That's great. Good. And then turn back to the front. Hands on the hips. Level your feet. Take some deep breaths. Multiple deep breaths. So it's all about the breath. We're coming again into Prasrita Padottanasana. That's that forward fold. So make sure your toes are turned in. And make sure your feet are spread. Make sure your feet are spread. Inhale from your inner groins up. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Some of you might feel a sort of rising in the thighs. Come to your fingertips, or if the pelvis keeps traveling, fine, let keep going with that, that's okay too. But what we don't want to do is fold over the belly button. We want to keep a straight, open feeling to the front of the body. We want to keep the back natural. So we're not bending over the belly button, but we are folding over the top of the front thigh. The body should be in a position that you would have if you were just standing up straight. Huh? Not slumping, but standing up straight. That's how the body should be. So it's the pelvis that moves and the spine follows. Good job. So fingertips is a great position to be on. If the pelvis keeps moving, it's fine to go lower. Getting your head closer to the floor means nothing in terms of yoga. Yeah, what means something in terms of yoga is using your body to absorb yourself. Right? Using your body to absorb yourself. So playing with the balance between inner and outer ankle. Breathing deep. Matt, you can go longer with your stride. You can take your feet further away from each other, yeah. Don't forget to get good shots of yourself, because I can give you better feedback, in future classes. If you get a good shot of yourself, then Matt's got a good shot of himself, I can see him. Good, well done. Okay, fingertips lead with the chest, come up calmly. Good. Walk your feet towards each other and come up all the way. Walk your feet together. Well done. Once your feet are together, stand for a moment in Tadasana. So what does that mean, stand for a moment in Tadasana? Well, start with your feet. Spread your toes multiple times. And feel the effect. So it's a sort of visceral sense of trust that you have. Now we're going to come up to a balancing Vrikshasana, a very well-known Vrikshasana. If you know you're a little wobbly and you've got a chair nearby, sure, bring that up. Put that in front of you. That's fine. Otherwise, raise your right heel. You can have a chair in front of you or not. Raise your right heel. Just the heel. And then feel the standing foot. And it can move. I'm moving mine now because it feels right, because I'm moving all the tissue. And then if you're ready, you continue to bring the leg up. Taking a hold, heel into thigh, thigh into heel, hands into prayer. And breathing through your nose, if you can. Breathing through your nose if you can. Good job. Beautiful. Shouldn't have said that. Made some of you wobble. Release your hands and place your foot. That's a short stay for Vrikshasana, but there it is. Feet together, shake out if you need to. Breathe deep. Make sure you feel loose and relaxed. Make sure you feel loose and relaxed and, informal. Because sometimes we're really trying, we're watching a video, we're like, what are we doing? Relax, have fun. But, make sure your energy's flowing. And when you're flowing and free, lift up the other heel. And then feel the standing leg foot. Feel the standing leg foot and play with it. And breathe deep and feel the standing leg foot and play with it. Because you're playing with the tissues further up. You're placing them through intuition. Pratibha is the Sanskrit for intuition. It means inner light, a light shining forth. Pratibha, the light within. When you're ready, up comes the leg, and heel into thigh, thigh to heel, and hands to Atmanjali Mudra. nasal breathing if possible. Obviously, if it's not possible, you just do what you can. Okay. All right, well done. Release and place. And shake out a little bit if you want. Just shake out a little bit. So that there's some energy moving. Okay, now from here, from Tadasana, make sure you've got space behind you and in front of you. Behind you and in front of you. And then very, very simply, take either leg, just choose your favorite leg. Just think, oh, which is my favorite? Okay, now you've got that. Take hold of that leg by the shin, by the lower shin. And then extend your other arm out. And then let the body move round to a straighter, more aligned position. Breathe through your nose. It's fine to extend out a little bit more if you want. As long as any further extension is conducing more to absorption, not less. Keeping the body level. Okay, well done. There's a version of Natarajasana, which I don't know why they call that pose that, because the Nataraja is down, I've got him down by the wood burner, you can see. He's not in that position anyway, but there you go. Take a few deep breaths, and when you're ready, you know what to do. You did it before, so you can do it again. Raise a leg and take hold. Breathing through your nose. Extending out your other arm in front of you. Eyes are soft. It's all about the breath. So breathe into it. Let the side of the body that corresponds to the leg that you've raised, let that side come forwards, level. And you're welcome if you want to extend out a little, but there's no actual need to. And it should only be done if it's deepening your absorption, the richness of your experience. Well done. Release. Nice and easy. Again, you might need a little shake out or a little kick out. And then when you're ready, you're going to raise up, let's say your right leg. Doesn't really matter, but you're going to say your right leg. We're going to bring it up and just gently work it around like this. So you can hold it with the other hand and just gently work it around. And you concentrate on any tightness in the knees and soften it. So that's all about the breath and the mind and the body together as one. Tightness in the knees, you soften it. Okay, nice and easy. Bring the leg out, guide it. Place it. Take a breath. And then repeat on the other side. If you bring the leg higher up, it moves more easily from the hip. Because you place it deeper into the acetabulum, dish. Acetabulum is a name that means a dish for vinegar, although your hip joint is not a dish for vinegar. So you want to move the top of the thigh bone, the head of the femur, most optimally into that joint, and that's done by raising the leg higher. And then you breathe into it, breathe into it. Okay, well done. Come out, guiding your leg, nice and easeful. And you can shake out a little if you need to. Now we're going to lay on our back for another version of Suchirandasana. So laying on your back again. Suchirandasana, remember, is threading the needle. These go quick. I just looked at the time. These go quickly. Good God. Okay, well, you're laying on your back anyway. And you can roll around a bit if you like, or be still, whatever. Not for me to tell you what to do, is it? Crikey. Do what feels right. And what feels right is validated by your breath. It's right because your breath expresses it. Now you're going to raise up one leg. I don't mind which one. Just raise up one, straight up. And interlace your fingers, just as well done, Susan, you're exactly right. Interlace your fingers behind the back of your thigh. You know me very well. You know my style. Thigh into hands and hands into thigh, until there's a sort of vibration comes in your knee and thigh, like energy. Heat, could be tingling. And it's coming because there's energy building up, because the thigh is not winning, pressing into the hands, and the hands aren't winning, pressing to the thigh. They're neutral. But the energy comes into your front thigh, and then you guide that energy up. You comb it up. Good, okay. Now you can let the leg release. You release your hands from the leg, and then turn the heel in and toes out. So keep the leg raised, but release the hands. Heel in, toes out. And then bend at the knee and cross that leg over the other one. You have to have your lower leg up, Leah. Yeah, that's it. One on the floor, the other one up. Yeah, nearly. The other one crosses over. You got it. That's it. Good. And then lift up your head and plunge through the gap between the legs. So lift your head, plunge through, go round. Good job. You can hold the back thigh or the front shin. Yeah, so you're holding the far leg, not the near leg. Huh? Yeah, you got it. You got it, Sinead. That's it. That's it. And you breathe into it. And you can roll around if you want. Many people do find rolling around useful. Sophia, your legs aren't quite the right position. Just have a quick look. I'll show you. So it's like this. Suchirandasana. And then rolling around. You're looking for sensations that are rich again. No? You can support your head if you need to. Something under the head is not a bad idea. Good. Beautiful. Nice and easy. Release and place your foot down. Release the other leg upwardly. Stretch it up. That other leg, the one that was crossed over. No, the other one, Matt. That's it. So the one you just stretch out the knee after the stretch we had. Okay, and then you can bring it down once you've stretched it out. Both feet on the floor. Take a breath. That's it. And then you raise up the other leg now, straight up. Interlace your fingers behind the thigh. Thigh into hands, hands into thigh. Until the front thigh comes online. And your breath, of course, is expressive. It has to be expressive. So you're pressing definitely your thigh into your hands, and you're pressing definitely your hands into your thigh. And then sensation starts to vibrate. A sensation vibrates, and then you comb that sensation. So it keeps coming back. You get more sensation coming all the time because you're still pressing. And then you comb it to distribute it through the leg. You know, like you're combing your hair or something, you know, the energy it keeps arriving, and then you keep combing it through the leg. So you're vitalizing the whole leg as it arises. Okay, nice and easy. Release your hands. Keep the leg raised. Turn the heel in and the toes out, and then bend at the knee. Cross over just above your outer ankle. Beautifully done. Yeah, you're doing it. It's great. And then you can plunge through if you're ready by lifting your head, reach through the inside of the leg, round your far shin or back thigh. Doesn't matter which. And you can roll about. And sometimes it feels really, really great on one side. You know, you roll to that side and it feels really amazing, which is what you want. And don't forget, you can also roll the head if you want. You don't have to, but it's sometimes nice. Okay, and then nice and easy, release and place the foot back down and release the other one. You can stretch it up first, remember to open the knee after the stretch. And then when you're ready, you bring it down if you're ready. Good. Tuck under the buttocks, take a deep breath. Take a 2 or 3 deep breaths. Stretch your arms towards your feet with your legs still bent. And if your knees are comfortable, go ahead and walk your feet closer into your bum. Good. You can bring them so close that the heels even lift up and come right up against the bum temporarily. Now hold the yoga mat. If you haven't got a yoga mat, just stretch your arms towards your feet, but hold the yoga mat if you've got one. Lightly tone your tummy. Draw it in and up. Inhale. Exhale, lift your pelvis up. Lift up. Good. Externally rotate your arms, still hold the mat. Turn your, yeah, good job. Nicely done. And you can bounce, tilt, sway. You can swoop down to find more integrity at the pelvic floor. If your heels are up and you want to walk your feet further away, then go ahead so the heels can come down, but keep some height. And you can play with it, bouncing, tilting, swooping, swaying. Your job is to really tune in on the first order reality experience of your pelvis, pelvic floor. So tuning in again and again and again to find that super powerful. It's super powerful. It's sort of staggering when you feel the first order reality of any part of the body. But here, the pelvic floor. It's sort of like, you almost can't breathe. It's so alive and powerful. And that's what we want. We want to feel that power. And we want to give to it. And then everything's dancing, and then you're full of power. You're full of Shakti, the goddess, power. Staying in touch with the pelvic floor is the skill set now as you slowly lower yourself down. Beautifully done. Nice and easy. Stay in touch with the pelvic floor all the way down. And even post-descent, let go of the mat, stay in touch with the pelvic floor. Let go of the mat. Walk your feet a bit further from your bum once you've let go of the mat. That's it. Walk your feet further from your bum until your feet are rested, but keep your knees bent. And then let's take deep breaths. Palms can face up. A little further away from your body. Palms can face up. Yeah. And just observe the after effects. If your lower back is settled, or when your lower back settles, walk your feet away from your bum till your legs are resting. Obviously, if you need to get something warmer, we are going to come into Shavasana. So you can come up from the side, rolling, coming up from the side, getting whatever you need. Yeah, socks, blankets. Gosh, I miss you all. Looking at you all, I miss you all. I really do. Really good to see you. Hey, yeah, even shoes. Students putting shoes on even. Good, okay. So very, very important posture. One could argue the most important posture, and one could argue the most difficult posture. So alignment first. That's the first thing, isn't it? Alignment. So it should be symmetrical and spacious. The pose should be symmetrical and spacious. So your palms should face up, shoulder blades should be tucked under. Back of the neck has a little extension on it. Eyes rest over the eyelids. And you can feel the eyelids rather resting over the eyeballs. You can feel the eyeballs settling, being soothed, being settled by the steadiness of the eyelids upon them. Receive this blessing mantra directly into your heart center. This is the blessing mantra for Avalokiteshvara, Bodhisattva of compassion. I always imagine when I'm chanting this that I'm somewhere in the Himalayas, usually Tibet. And I'm normally on a sort of little rocky plateau in front of my little cave hermitage. And I can see across the valley, and I can see my prayer flags flapping. And as I chant the mantra, I visualize it going across the valley from this Tibetan plateau, from my own plateau within the Tibetan plateau, and then filtering across the entire world into all heart centers. Om Mani Padme Om Mani Padme Om Mani Padme Hum. Mani Padme Hum. Feel the mantra settling into your heart center. The mantra of compassion. Allow your fingers to move a little, and toes and ankles and wrists. And you can bend your legs, place the soles of your feet on the floor. And then tuck under the buttocks and take a few deep breaths. And really let the lower back go into the breath. And then when you're ready, roll onto your side. If there's an option to roll away from my voice, then do that. Otherwise, either side is fine. And then in your own time, rolling again. Lay as comfortably as you can on your other side. And you might rub your eyes or run a hand through your hair or rub your shoulders or stretch out an arm or a leg. Huh? Just kind of coming round naturally. And when you feel ready to come up, and isn't this cool? You don't have very far to go to stagger into your bed. That's all. Some of you are literally right next to it. So come up from the side though when you're ready. Take a comfortable seated position. May all be happy. May all be healthy. May all see goodness. May there be no worry. Om. Really, really appreciate you coming along here. And it's really fantastic to see you. Great to get a little nose into your houses as well. Isn't that brilliant? Love that. I'm going to put a bit more light on me. There you go. Oh, that's the one. Thank you so much. Lovely to see you now. Say hi to Nick. Oh. Lovely to see you. Yuko, what have you done to your arm, by the way? What's happened? You all right? What have you done? What have you been street fighting? Can't hear you. I think you're saying I've been street fighting. Yuko's been street. Yes, she has. She's been street fighting. Happy birthday, Sophia. Happy birthday to everyone. You can give happy birthday to Sophia. It's her birthday today in Berlin. Happy birthday. Hopefully I'll see you all again very, very soon. If you need to ask anything, thanks for letting me know, Stephen, about that. Those are your slippers earlier, but I thought you were your shoes, but they're slippers.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you so much, Tika. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope to see some of you on Wednesday at 5 o'clock. Donations are welcome. They are how we don't starve to death. But thank you again. I really appreciate it. It's lovely to see you, and I can't wait for the next one. And to see some of you who I haven't seen for so long, and you know who you are as well. It's been amazing, and a couple of new faces too. So thank you all. Mwah, 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 mwah.
Thank you, Jim.
Bye-bye, Jim. Thank you.
Bye. Miss you all. Let's see each other soon.
You too. Bye-bye, love.
Bye. Om.
Bye.
Bye. Om.